connecting 2 lakh. See, you will be surprised. There are 6 lakh villages in this country. All over the country, if you see, there are 6 lakh villages, and all the 6 lakh villages come under 2.5 lakh village panchayats. On an average, each village panchayat has some almost around 2 to 3 villages connected with this. So that's why the first thing what has been contemplated in this architecture is, first let us connect the village panchayat, and at the village panchayat terminal, let us give a sort of a broadband connectivity which will be made available to all these villages. Next one please. So then you may be asking me one first question, already broadband is available. What is the need of putting this extra fiber? What is the need of doing this? And why the existing copper wires through which this broadband is today available? Today broadband is available in most of these places through the already the copper wires which are available within the within the present existing network to all our houses, etc. Using the what is called the ADSL modem and all that. But then if that is already available, what is the need of this new technology or putting an optical fiber and all that? See, basically as we have seen, when the knowledge is going and going higher and higher, and the need for the amount of information which has to come is also increasing. Today, if you see, earlier we were very happy to get a sort of our own mails. Even to get our mails, we were able to wait for half an hour. Because at that time we were only getting 1 or 2 mails on our own accounts. But today, the number of information what is coming into our own network is also increasing. So that means there is a need that every one of us asking more and more information, and to this information to come faster and faster. So how the information is basically sort of measured. See, every information or any information is measured technically in bits per second. Whatever is the information is put into sort of how many in a second, how many bits that transmitted. Basic measure of information flow in any network. So this, if you measure, if you see survey, if you do, the amount of information is 256 kilobits per second. In 1 second, 256,000 bits of information will come if you are doing the internet surfing. But whereas for tele-education, you need 512,000 bits of information. But the same thing, if you go for video gaming, you need higher and higher information. The next slide, please. The next one. The next. So here I just gave a comparison. If you see, there are different types of methods how this communication can be pumped into this network. So the vehicles are all called the ISDN network. Then the ADSL modem. ADSL modem is the modem today which is there in our houses, which is provided by BSNL. So that is on the copper lines. Using this ADSL modem, this information can be put into your house. And then there is the fiber. Fiber has 3 different types of technologies. One is a 10 megabits of information to come. Then the other one is 100 megabits per second type of information. And the last one is 1 gigabit per second type of information. So if you see, if a high definition TV has to be downloaded in our network using that ADSL modem, it almost takes 4.73 weeks. A high definition TV, something like our latest movies, if you have to really download through your internet, it may take 4.73 weeks. But using a fiber network and using this gigabit passive optical network, it can be downloaded in 4.77 minutes. So that means information, more and more information if it has to come, it has to have more capacity and it has to come out very fast. So if you have to achieve this fastness and the quantity of information more and more, we have to use this fiber. So that's how this national optical fiber network has been contemplated, that it has been decided that optical fiber is the best source. If we have to pump in more and more information up to the any destination what we want. Today our destination is to reach the 250,000 villages, and at each 250,000 villages, the idea is that we will have 1 gigabit per second type of a communication channel. 1 gigabit, please be, just to give an example, using this, we will be able to download a high definition TV in 4.77 minutes. A sort of a e-medicine applications, which you are able to say, for example, a operation is happening at Vellore. If that has to be broadcasted to a village health center on their screens, it exactly takes 0.5 seconds to just download that information onto this network. So that is the type of extra benefit which is going to flow if we make use of this national optical fiber network and the connected electrical circuitry. So as I said, the next one please. The government of they have used the Universal Service Obligation Fund, and out of that 25,000 crores is going to be utilized to lay out this national optical fiber network. Next please. And in this, as I said, BSNL, RailTel, and then Power Grid, who are already having the fiber laid out up to the mandal level or up to the taluk level. They are made partners in this, and the Universal Service Obligation Fund is funding this equipment. And Center for Development of Telematics has provided all the technical services or the technical products which are required. They have been designed indigenously for this, and that is going to be implemented in this. And then the others are all partners in this. These are all the people who will be the partnering in this national initiative. Next one. As I said, it will be having 1 gigabit per second type of a network to be provided at the village panchayat. Next please. And the most important is that the first question we will ask is, so many networks have been already been provided, and none of these things will work, because they may work for the first 1 year, or they may first work for the first 1 month, and afterwards no one will look after this. So this is the type of skeptical attitude we have, because we have seen that type of things happening. So the best thing what has been contemplated in this network is to have a network management system which is going to ensure that it will provide a 24/7 type of a service all the 365 days, and basically this was made possible of the using the latest technology of monitoring the health of all the elements of this network, whether it is the fiber or the electrical equipment which will be utilized in this total network, to see the health of this one from a central point, and then monitoring those things and identifying what is the cause of a failure in the network, and immediately taking actions for rectifying this. So that type of a system is what is called the network management system. This network management will have a national sort of a national optical screen at the Delhi, and from where they can identify even at every village whether the equipment is working or not, what is the health of this equipment, how that it can be rectified if there is a fault in the system, and who are the people who are connected with this, and then sending them the SMS messages and internet messages so that these things can be corrected. So this is what is being contemplated as a part of this initiative itself. The next one please. So then we have seen that fiber is going to be laid out. After laying out the fiber just won't do the work. So like take for example your own telephone equipment. See, we have two main elements in a telephone network. See, if you have to talk to another person, first thing you need is a telephone instrument in your house. So the telephone instrument, what it does, it just converts our own audio signals into electrical signals, and the electrical signals are transmitted through the cable which is going there, and then it reaches the other end, which is also where there is another telephone instrument which converts the electrical signals into audio signal which you will hear. Similarly, if you really want to get the broadband, you have to have an equipment at the premises of the village panchayat. This equipment is called the optical network terminal. So this is also something which will provide at the village panchayat connectivity for your telephone, connectivity for your internet, connectivity for your television, connectivity for your surfing, connectivity for your surveillance system. Whatever is this type of electronic system, what you want out of this broadband, all those things can be taken out of this instrument. This instrument is called the optical network terminal. This will be placed at the village panchayat level. And then the most important thing in the telephone instrument is, in the telephone network, that you see so many telephones are there. But who has to connect to whom? And how efficiently they should be connected? And how fast they should be connected? There should be a centralized system which does this. All of us know that there is a telephone exchange which does this job. That means it will connect. If I make a call to Mr. Chakrapani, it decides how this network has to get connected through different routes, and that is decided at the telephone exchange. A similar exchange which is required for broadband implementation is called the optical line terminal. So at every this was block level, there will be a telephone exchange similar equipment, what is called the optical line terminal, that will be placed at the block level. So that is called the OLT. OLT will be there at the mandal level as an exchange, which will ensure how this broadband has to be routed at different routes, and then how to extract this information from the central place. That all is decided by that. That type of equipment is there at the mandal level. That is called the OLT. And then the next this one is that at the other level we are going to have at the village level, at the village panchayat level, you are going to have the optical network terminal, which will provide you all the broadband services. So this network is called the gigabit passive optical network. So this is a 100% indigenously designed network, and those products are the elements what are called OLT and OLT have been indigenously designed. Then they are going to be the part of this network. Next one, please. Next. So this is the way the total architecture, the Indian architecture is going to be implemented. At the core network is the one which is going to be there with either with BSNL up to the mandal level. What is there? That is called the core network. That from that network, the information will come to the OLT, and the OLT from the OLT, the information will flow up to the village level. Next one, please. Next. So then the next please. Next. And one more important technical tool which has been going to be used in this is that called the fiber planning. So how do we see if we have to lay 750,000 kilometers of fiber? It has to be laid in a very efficient manner and very effective manner. And otherwise, the number of kilometers of fiber which has to be used will increase dramatically. And doing it across the total country, if we have to do in the traditional methods, we have to do what is called the physical survey and find out which is the shortest route and how to do this, etc. But in order to see that it is done very fast and very, more methodically, what has been done is a planning tool has been decided. The planning tool is simple, in simple terms, if I have to tell you, is that it has captured where all the panchayat buildings are there on the map, on the Google map, or electronic map, and it also has from the survey of India map, we have taken all the roads which are there in the country. All that has been mapped onto this, and from this sort of found out which is the shortest route, which can come through the through the village roads which are already existing, and how much of kilometers will be coming out of this. So this type of a tool has been used, electronic tool has been used, and this has been done. Next one please. Next. So this is the other thing which I already told you. In order to ensure a 24/7 type of a service, or a network management system has been ensured, so that the type of the short the lifetime of this type of networks is not going to be there. See, this is going to be monitored on a 24/7 basis, and then all the problems will be centrally addressed, and the network will be active all over 24/7 type of a network. Next please. So then in order to see that, if you have to really roll it out to 250,000 villages, it's if you roll it out at one go, it's going to create a lot more problems. We will have lot many teething problems. In order to sort out the teething problems, the government of India has already implemented this on a pilot scale, and they have taken 3 states and 3 blocks. One in Andhra Pradesh, in Vijayawada district, in Vijayawada block. 15 village panchayats have been already been connected by this network as a pilot implementation. Similarly, in Rajasthan, which is a desert state, that has been taken, and 30 village panchayats have been connected in Rajasthan, in Ajmer block. And then in a hilly state, northeastern state, we have taken the network in Tripura, Panisagar network, and Panisagar, this one 15 village panchayats have been connected. So in 3 states, already this network has been rolled out on a pilot level, and it is working for the last 6 months. And all the teething problems which have been envisaged in rolling out this one have already been sorted out. So we are now confident of rolling it out to 250,000 villages, and this is going to happen in the next 12 months. Next please. Next. So this is the way how we want to bring in the broadband up to the village panchayat. So after bringing to the village panchayat, just at the village panchayat, if broadband is available, is it good enough? Because if you want to really access the broadband, you can't keep on going to the village panchayat building. So the best way is to see that this will go to the all other connected offices, or the connected village, the people who want to use this panchayat, to bring in this broadband to their place also. So up to this time, we have utilized the optical fiber as the media. So in order to bring it in from panchayat building to the other places, what is the best media we have thought of? Is that, see, if you have to really again lay out the village to everyone this optical fiber, it's going to be a very clumsy network, and it is going to be very expensive. So the vehicle which has been used here is the wireless. Wireless is the best media if we want to again bring in the broadband from the village panchayat level to up to the village houses. So that is how this wireless network has been contemplated as the next step to bring in the broadband from the village this one to this. Here we have used a sort of wireless network, wireless technology, and even in wireless we have not utilized those frequencies for which you have to pay very heavily. That means all of you must have had what is called the spectrum. If you really want to buy the spectrum, it is very expensive. Most of the telecom service providers buy this spectrum, and they will auction. Our spectrum is auctioned by government of India, and they will use this spectrum. That's how some of the services are becoming expensive. But there is a certain amount of frequencies in the spectrum which the government has allowed it as a free spectrum, which is available for all common citizens like all of us. So the same frequency, that is called the Wi-Fi frequency, has been utilized for this. This Wi-Fi equipment has been utilized in order to see that this broadband can come up to the village houses also. That equipment is called the broadband wireless terminal, and this broadband wireless terminal also has been rolled out in this 3 pilot productions, and ensured that the broadband is also coming to all the public institutions in this village level. So this experimentation has also been completed and it is very successfully implemented. So this is another technology which is going to be there in this. Next one please. So this is a very simple equipment. Actually if you see that on the right side where BBWD is written, that is the equipment which is a very inexpensive equipment. It costs only 10,000 rupees, and with this a total area of 1 kilometers radius of places can get the broadband without any this one. Next one please. Next. Go ahead. Completed. So this is one. This one I want to tell you. You see, this is the one important application. See, once the broadband comes up to that this one, even this you can use it in your college campuses. In a college campus, if you put a BBWT equipment, after you get this broadband up to the village panchayat and get connected to the village panchayat, and that one if you can start sort of radiating within your campus, every student within your college or within the premises of your this one can be having the access of the broadband, and it's a very simple equipment and it can be installed very fast, and then everyone can get the advantage of this broadband in your campuses. Next one please. So this is the how in a campus you can provide this broadband connectivity, and this network and then this planning we already have installed in many of the institutions like Shankar University in Tamil Nadu, for Shankar Nethralaya in Tamil Nadu, and we are also doing this experimentation in Gujarat government also. In some places we want to put this network, and just to see that this becomes popular and becomes sort of a day-to-day requirement in all the college campuses. Next one please. So then the third level, what is that is that I have told you, now the broadband has come up to the village level. But all of us know, many of us also are not that much computer literate. So we are always having that reservation to see that to utilize the computer. We are not so sort of familiar how to use a computer keyboard, or what instructions we have with this one to access information, this one, etc. So for this also a sort of a semi highly technical sort of a equipment has been designed, and this is called DRAX. This is basically for a computer illiterate person, how using a simple keyboard which is having 0 to 10 sort of a keys, 10 keys. Using these 10 keys, he can using the audio prompts and video prompts and having a sort of a video screen, and on that to putting that video prompts on that and giving that audio prompts, etc., which you normally get when once you dial some of these railway reservations, etc. You will get prompts like if you want your train number so and so, press 1. If you want reservations, press 2. Like that you get prompts. Utilizing the same type of this one, how to get access to these broadband services. That means if a villager wants to get the services of agricultural prices, or if he wants to get his land record prices, or if he wants to get a railway reservation ticket information, etc., he can simply use a 0 to 10 keyboard and then access all these services. The next one please. See, this is the type of keyboard which we'll be having. It will have a sort of a video screen, and you must have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Each one is assigned for one of the services. If he wants agricultural this one, he has to press 1. So then the agricultural this one, he will get another screen where he will have a carrot or a bendi or whatever is this one, and if he wants to know the prices of those at the wholesale markets, he has to press that element, and then it also automatically tells in the regional language whatever he wants. So which key he has to press, and he will get a total access of this. So this has also been, this product has also been designed indigenously for this purpose, and it has been sort of demonstrated in many places and many Krushi Melas, etc. And this will be one of the most important this one to reduce this digital divide and to make people a part of this broadband movement. So this is also one of the other technological product which has been done. So this is how we have demonstrated in many of the Krushi Melas, and then they can take advantage of this. And this equipment is already available at many places, and if any one of you want to use this equipment in some of your places, so that you will also get familiarized with broadband, etc., we can give this as a sort of a demonstration model to every place, and you can get in touch with CIP so that they can give the necessary inputs for us, so that we can come and make the demonstrations. Next one, please. So this is what just I wanted to share with you. What is the basic sort of government's good initiative to connect all the village panchayats to provide the broadband, and how this can facilitate sort of this knowledge movement which is going to happen, or the innovation movement which is going to happen in this country, how this vehicle can be utilized. And the main thing of my appeal to all of you is that please, it is going to be implemented within the next 12 months, and all of you should become utilize this service or this facility which is available, and see that this the full advantage of this network is utilized by people like all of you. Thank you very much. The operational cost is basically, see, as I said, it is on a free this one. See, the service provider who is going to give you the service, because he is frequency, or that means non-cost frequency, that is the Wi-Fi frequency, it is going to be cheaper. So the amount of service, what is the operational cost, is dependent on the service provider who will provide. But most of the government services which are required may be provided free of charge also. So that is the difference.
Whom I can contact not to install in our college?
No, if you really want it, you just get in touch with Mr. Chakrapan Garu, and then he will tell you this one. We will get that.
What college is it?
Vijayawada college.
Member.
No, we can definitely put you a demonstration. This one there. Okay. No, the idea is that only. This now. The first thing is that we have to bring it the broadband up to the panchayat level. And once it comes to the panchayat, then we will be getting connection from there to your school or something.
No, she is talking of agency area.
Even in agency area, this will be actually, that's how we have chosen this one. Even your village panchayat, which is there even in the agency areas, are also covered. And this way we have already covered in Palisagar in Tripura, which is a remote villages.
Except BSNL. No other cities.
This will be operated by BSNL.
Yeah.
It will be operated by BSNL in that area.
Yeah, that's what
No, actually, today BSNL is not able to give you a reliable service because the amount of information is not coming up to your village panchayat. First, that is being addressed by this. So that enough information comes up to the panchayat, that will be ensured. From there to come to your place is also again you have to use this wireless network. So that is why we have chosen this platform. It consumes very less power. See, there are so many different types of equipment which are available today, but they are all not contemplated in this network because of this peculiar nature of this power requirement in this country. See, this gigabit passive optical network, why did we call passive is, it doesn't require any power throughout the line where it is going. Wherever the optical fiber is going, there is no need of having extra power in between. Only power is required at the block level where that exchange is there, that OLT is there, and again at the place where that the village panchayat, the power should be there. And even for this OLT, which is going to be there at the village panchayat level, it hardly consumes 8 to 10 watts. And this 8 to 10 watts can also be provided through solar energy. And wherever we have implemented,
That is the point I think he has a, see, unreliable where there is no power, how do you operate? There are organizations like Celco, which is actually established by Mr. Harish Hande, who is a Raman Magsaysay Award winner for spreading solar energy in rural areas. It has been done in Karnataka. There are also other organizations which are running the village level computers in schools in states like Gujarat, states like Bihar. We are getting that studied and also understand the reliability of those systems. Solar power is one possibility, but Celco, in fact, I thought we have a presentation, but I think they are not able to come. They are coming to Chhattisgarh, where we have done a workshop. They came there, and probably they will be coming to other places. Celco is one solution, but probably it will cost about 3 lakhs per institution. But their reliability is quite good. So solar power is one option.
see that's what, even wherever this has been implemented, the solar power has been utilized. The main important thing is the consumption which is there at the OND is very low. That's why very smaller solar system itself is good enough in order to maintain that. That's how even it doesn't need to invest around 3 lakh. Hardly around 80,000 rupees equipment may be good enough if you have to really run it. So that is the way it has been planned. The total concept in this is how to make it more and more power efficient and how to make it more and more green. That means utilizing the local resources. So that is the purpose of this, our basic intent of this architecture of this MOF.
What is the maximum speed by means of which the information will be? Is there
A guaranteed 100 Mbps of information will be available and it can go up to 1 gigabit. So this is the type of information which will be made available by using this network.
After this project, is there any possibility of reduction of prices for internet to be charged for villages?
Pardon?
Reduction of prices.
Reduction of price, you see basically, this will be sort of an equipment which will be made available. And then afterwards there is another government sort of initiative how to make available the tablets. See, you have to have a consumer, you have to have an equipment which has to make access.
He is asking for the recurring cost.
The recurring cost.
Recurring cost.
The recurring cost is
The
going
way
see
more
that's what the government has contemplated. You see, basically the cost comes out of two things. One is the operational cost, the other is the capital cost. Today any network it has to run, whatever is the charge they are making, 80% is because of the capital cost. So the government is taking care of this capital cost. The 25,000 crores is going to be this way. So that's why today's dates, if you compare, the type of service which will be made available through this will be inexpensive because the capital cost is already being taken by the government.
Broadband has been made a fundamental right in some countries. A fundamental right. It is enshrined in legally. The further question I'm asking is, are you giving the connectivity, the supply also on a monthly basis? His point is the cost will come down, but I am sure spending about 100 or 150 a month is not going to be an issue for village level entrepreneurs will surface. Common service centers are already there. 2.5 lakhs. Your Vijayawada center can be one source where it can be provided. 50% of the IT infrastructure is lying dormant and unutilized in schools. Most of the high schools in this state have computers which are not being fully utilized. So it's not a question of issue, it's a question of how we ensure that these computers are made operational. Most of your colleges also have computer labs. Kindly take a call at the utilization of these computer labs. The utilization is not more than 30 to 40%. We close the institutions for 160 days for some reason or other. Its utilization is low. So if you develop an entrepreneurship, bring in an entrepreneur who runs it part-time and give him a kind of a stake in running these computers, I am sure entrepreneurship will develop. You have to think out of the box. If you have 25 computers which are lying unutilized in the college, and we have 700 colleges in this state, isn't it? 700 colleges, engineering colleges, where every engineering college has a computer lab. How do we make it useful? So these are the methods by means of which we need to realize.
Thank you very much. Kanika. She is an associate professor and has research interest in organizational behavior, educational psychology and psychometry. She has authored a book In Search of Indianness in 2009 and co-edited The Child in New Millennium in 2002. Also, she has written course texts for BA and MA Psychology for IGNOU in 2010. She has published several articles in journals and has presented many papers and keynote addresses in conferences worldwide. She has conducted workshops for parents, teachers, and students in leading schools across the country. She is now currently involved in research project on conflict resolution and peace building in Kashmir. She is a gold medalist in BA Honours Psychology from Lady Sri Ram College. She is an alumni of that college. Now I request ma'am to present the best practices of Lady Sri Ram College. I request Dr. Kanik.
Let me thank CIPS for inviting me to represent Lady Sri Ram College in this August gathering. It's indeed a matter of great pleasure and privilege for me to be here in front of Vice Chancellors, Principals, fellow academicians, and to be talking and sharing and learning from all of you. I'm here to talk about some of the best practices that we use at NSR. And as I was humbled enough in the morning by a comment that Shri Ajay Mishra ji made about, I'm not sure whether they are really best practices. They are some of our best, but they are still not up to the standards. So I would really like to rename this as some of our good practices. Some of them are innovative, some of them are good. But I do hope to learn from all of you, from the Gujarat model, from the Andhra Pradesh model, as you mentioned in the morning. Some of the things are very interesting, very experimental, and we hope to take something from here. To give a little background about our college is one of the colleges in University of Delhi, which was started in 1956. It's a women's only college. Was established by the late Sir Sri Ram. It started off in a very, very small way with about 140 students, 9 faculty members, and about 4 support staff. From then to now, it is so called. At Lady Sri Ram College, we are offering discipline courses. They are called DC1 courses and DC2 courses, which is something similar to the American model where you have a major and you have a minor. So students have an option of doing 20 papers from the major that you choose to major in, and about 6 courses in the minor paper. The major and the previous slide. The major and the minor at Lady Sri Ram College, since it's a liberal arts college, are in economics, English, Hindi, history, mathematics, philosophy, political science, psychology, Sanskrit, sociology, commerce, statistics, journalism, and mass communication. And the student can choose to minor in also from among these disciplines. Other than these discipline courses, we have on the right, as you can see, foundation courses, which are about 11. These foundation courses cover a span of arts, social sciences, and commerce to contribute to the integral development of the students. In addition to this, there is another course, and I was struck by the similarity of that course and the value-based paper that you spoke about in the morning. It's called Integrating Mind, Body, and Heart. And I'm humbled enough to admit that perhaps Delhi University has taken a cue from Andhra Pradesh, because this is introduced for the first time this calendar year. So it's a course called Integrating Mind, Body, and Heart, where they're looking at value-based education and primarily going back to teachings of Gandhi and trying to use them in a contemporary way in our everyday living. We also have a professional course of one postgraduate diploma program in conflict transformation and peace building that Sir spoke about in the morning. It's perhaps the only course in the country which is being offered, which offers a space, it offers a platform for young practitioners, students to come together to think of constructive ideas, to look at, to deal with conflict in a non-conflict manner. It's a one-year postgraduate diploma program which is offered to students, NGO workers. We have people from the defense, we have people from the media coming to do this course with us. It's an integrated program that draws from various disciplines like psychology, sociology, political science, and media studies. The interesting part about this course is that it's not just a theoretical course. It combines theory, it combines skill building, it combines action research, and it combines internship. And the faculty who are coming to teach this program are not just from LSR, but we draw on expertise from university educators, people from the media, people who have actually worked in conflict regions like Srinagar, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, and so on. Next slide. As mentioned, LSR has been consistently ranking India Today rankings. Of course, these rankings have to be taken with a pinch of salt, but it is still a matter of great pride for us. And I'm here to talk about perhaps what brings us here, and perhaps what brings us, and it is indeed a feat, especially for a women's college, to be topping such ratings, and if I may say so, to beat all the men. Next slide. Our vision is to empower women to assume leadership, to develop critical thinking and concerned citizens, to contribute new perspectives to the world of knowledge. Next slide. To enhance access and inclusivity in quality education. I'll come to this in just a moment. To sustain democratic spaces for creative explorations, to provide a context of learning that promotes professionalism, humanism, and social responsibility. I'm going to be focusing on 7 of our good practices: pedagogy and research, student engagement, social responsibility, community interface, non-teaching staff as an important stakeholder, preparing global citizens, our students as global citizens, and looking at our alums as partners. When we talk about pedagogy, we truly mean that any institution is as good as its teachers. We often look at students and we do every possible thing to hone the skills and talents of the students, but it is the faculty members who make any institution, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. So we look at the pedagogy as being integral to defining the culture of an institution. We truly believe in looking beyond the course, and we don't really say it only for the walls, we truly practice it. We hope LSR is also known as the acronym LSR, which is of course Lady Shri Ram, can be known for various things, one of which is listen, speak, and reflect. So in our very few classes, when the students come to us, they are very wide-eyed, 17, 18-year-old coming from all across the country. The first thing we tell them is to unlearn the traditional way of looking at teaching, to unlearn the traditional models of sitting in the classroom. Jayanti ji spoke about the flipped classrooms in the morning, and we try and use that in whatever best way we can. We ask our students to question, and we try to develop critical thinking in them as much as we can. We are really co-travelers with them. We don't need to be on one side and then teach them down. And really, if you look at our cutoffs are among the highest in the country. It's amazing to see how students get those marks. I wouldn't have studied in LSR today probably, but the cutoffs are a mind-boggling 94 to 97% in commerce and related disciplines. So clearly the students who come to us are among the brightest, and we really make no attempts to make them feel we know more than them. We certainly don't, especially in matters of technology and accessing the lectures, accessing the various kinds of things that are available on the internet. We certainly are far worse than they are. So we try to learn from them as we try to teach to them. Go back to the previous slide, please. We try to use a lot of TED Talks. It's a wonderful resource. Has anyone used a TED Talk? It's a wonderful resource, again available free of cost. These are a series of lectures that they're largely videos that cover very, very interesting topics and can deal with a variety of issues. Very, very inspirational. So these are some kinds of TED Talks that we use in the classroom. We also use a lot of live videos, a lot of YouTube videos that are available on the YouTube to kind of help our students think critically. In addition to classroom teaching, there is a lot of engagement on a sustained basis with practitioners, academicians. There are a lot of seminars, field trips, workshops that we organize regularly for our students. Among the distinguished speakers, we claim to boast of at least 2 prime ministers who come to our college, Srimati Indira Gandhi and Sri Manmohan Singh, along with dignitaries like Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard and currently Law Aung San Suu Kyi, who all visited our college. It's indeed a fantastic opportunity for our students, and that's what we keep reminding them. Where else will you get to hear dignitaries like these? So please come and attend. And often we also face same problems as you do about lack of motivation, and sometimes students might be more interested to spend time in the cafe or out shopping than come and listen to these speakers. But it's up to us to kind of motivate them, to tell them that this is probably your only chance where you will be exposed to such dignitaries. Where in the world will you ever get a chance to meet and to talk to these people again? We spoke about research in the morning. We are very, very privileged to have outstanding faculty members. A very large percentage of our faculty are PhDs, probably 40 to 45% of our faculty members are PhDs. And they are very well known in their area of expertise thanks to their ongoing research engagement. What we've tried to do at our end is to expand these contours of research by involving students as research associates in this collaborative research journey, which we have just begun, and probably it is one of the innovative research practices. We've taken a cue from the university where research associates have been given some kind of a stipend, and research associates. There is not much money that we can offer, but we find that students are motivated enough and want to work without money, without honorarium. It looks good on their CV and they actually get to learn. So the first such thing that we tried out was about 2 years back, where we had a collaborative research team that had about 2 faculty members from one department and about 4 research students that faculty members were free to choose from. We found 3 departments to be working on such research projects: psychology, elementary education and statistics. Last year, Delhi University introduced this idea of an innovative research project which was on similar lines, where colleges across Delhi University were given a grant of 10 lakh rupees. It had to be interdisciplinary in nature and it had to be a team effort. So there was a minimum of 3 faculty members across 2 disciplines who had to be involved as principal investigators, along with a research team of 10 students. It was a fantastic experience. Our college participated and we got 2 researchers in this. The first one is Imprisoned Dove, Transcending Conflict and Building Cultures of Peace, in which I was involved in this. This is the project that took us to Kashmir, and we looked at a comparison of Kashmir and students in Delhi and looked at issues of conflict, issues of identity, stereotyping among Hindu-Muslim relations. The other one was the one which was done by the Department of Commerce and Statistics, a study of corporate social responsibility of multinationals in India. In addition to this, we have an interesting faculty research forum. Because what we found at the end of the year, when faculty was asked to document the engagements that they have done in the year, we found that faculty was extremely involved in making presentations world over. But when it came to dissemination of information in our own college, we found that that was lacking. So about 2 years back, we have introduced this faculty research forum, which is a forum where faculty members share with co-faculty members the researches that they've been involved with, what are the kind of presentations that they've done, and it's a critical and a very interesting brainstorming session with whoever is interested. So that is something which we find is extremely motivating to each one of us, and also provides a context and a space to share and to know what each one of us has been up to. In addition to the teaching as a pedagogy into literally what goes on in the classroom, the important learning landscapes are National Service Scheme, NSS, which I will go back to in a moment, the NCC and the NSO. Next slide. Next slide. We look at NSO as not just an organization, not just a department that is focusing on sports like the ones that are put up here, but also as an overall philosophy that looks into well-being and health of everybody on campus. So they organize defense workshops, they organize yoga for teachers, for everybody, and also we've introduced a course on sports journalism, which the Department of Sports is handling. Our second best practice is in terms of student engagement and involving students into practically everything that we do. We truly have a very, very diverse student body. And contrary to some of the stereotypes or some of the images that you may have of LSR coming from these high cutoffs, let me tell you that we have one of the largest diverse student body. Some of it is thanks to affirmative action. There is, as you know, a reservation of, I think, about 22.5% for ST, something like the 7 or 8% for ST. The point I want to highlight here is that while in many colleges such reserved seats go vacant, at LSR none of these seats go vacant. as a result of which more than 50% of our class comes from underprivileged backgrounds, reserved categories, physically disabled, Kashmiri migrants, all possible kinds of reservation, and that diversity over the years we have found is our biggest strength. If you look at sheer numbers, the percentage of students who are studying at Lady Shri Ram College from outside Delhi is as much as 70 to 75%. Truly. So our student population is truly diverse. We have a large number of foreign students also who come in, largely from neighboring countries, but a few from afar as well. We have about 23 student societies in our college which keep the college humming with cultural and intellectual energy. So we have space for everybody, whether it is a society to deal with public speaking, creative writing, debating, dance, dramatics, music, hype, quiz. There is place for everyone. You just have to be interested in one activity and you will find that there is a space for everyone. Next slide. As I was talking about student involvement, as I said, students, we spoke about the demographic dividend in the morning. Students are indeed our biggest resources and we try to use them in a very, very optimal manner, and research was one of the examples. We also try to involve them in administration matters, and we find that especially in matters of admission, students have been great help in using them as volunteers. So what we've done, and over the years, our admission policy and our admission, the ease with which we are doing admissions is talked about very widely. And we have our student volunteers to thank for this. When it comes to fund crunch, I think we are all in the same boat. We are all a part of a government college, and the funds that we receive from UGC are all very limited. So we have to make do with our limited resources, and that's where we draw upon our students. So when we try to use students as student volunteers, we find that they're a very, very spirited lot, full of energy, full of enthusiasm. They don't mind working through the summer break. So we call upon them, they help out other fellow students who want to, admission seekers basically. So they come there, they give advice to them, they will stand, they will give out forms, and any kind of responsibility that is given to students, we find that they take on very, very responsibly. So there are students on our admission committee. They help us with, they are on the cafe committee, hostel committee, which decides what food will be made. Into student grievances, library committee, and so on. We have student representatives practically everywhere. In addition, we also have a student mentorship program where senior students take on the role of mentors for junior students. So for the entire year, especially the ones who are coming from outside Delhi, who may find dealing with a new place, living in a big city, also slightly offsetting, we find that these students who work as mentors help them, guide them, and simply hold their hands. We have a large trust on campus placements, and we find big companies like Deloitte, Google, McCain, and so on visiting our campus every year to pick students. This year, our emphasis for campus placement was on inclusivity and making differently able and disadvantaged students also employable. Students who are 96%ers, 97%ers will find employment anyways. So we decided to make the thrust on inclusivity, and we tried to offer internship opportunities, skill building workshops, especially for students coming from disadvantaged backgrounds, into trying to make them employable. And for our commerce students, we found that there was a 200% placement offer, which meant that in the graduating class, each student had 2 job offers to choose from. Not everybody took them, of course. And our elementary education students, which a department that prepares students to become school teachers, elementary school teachers, also had a 150% placement rate. Next slide. Our next best practice is engaging in a sense of social responsibility, and LSR, Leadership with Social Responsibility, is another acronym that we would like to be known by. We do it consciously through our 4 pillars: the Women's Development Cell, HYAN, REACH, and VAP. These are our 4 pillars that help us engage and inculcate a sense of social responsibility. I'll talk next slide. I'll talk about the Women's Development Cell, called the WDC. At the first outset, WDC, a Women's Development Cell in a women's college, may seem like a bit of an overkill. But it is this Women's Development Cell that gives all of us ELSAs a sense of enlightened feminism that is confident, that sends out confident women trying to find their rightful place in the sun. And we believe that a discussion on women-centric issues is particularly important in issues like gender, issues like sexuality, one's body, eating disorders, crime against women, patriarchy in general, fundamentalism. A discussion on all these issues is important until there is gender inequity in our society. So that's what WTC does. We run workshops on gender identity, on campaigns against unsocial evils, female infanticide, and so on. We have a society called Dhyan, which is into looking inwards, introspection and spirituality. It helps us in building consciousness and awareness. It provides a context for reflection and introspection. So, for instance, last year we did book reading, we did readings from the book, Gurcharan Das' book, The Difficulty of Being Good. It looks at Mahabharata. It's a modern day interpretation of Mahabharata. I don't know if you've read it. It's a very interesting book. It questions the metaphors of Draupadi, the relationship between Draupadi and her 5 husbands in the context of gender, in the context of good versus evil and so on. So the entire year we had discussions on the book with students who would be interested. So it provides a fantastic context for simply discussion, engaging in issues which are really nothing to do with dance or drama or debate or something. Next. REACH, the acronym REACH stands for Reaffirming Equity, Access, Capacity and Humanism. REACH is actually a change agent that seeks to empower young women, particularly those who come from disadvantaged backgrounds. And as I just shared, we have a lot of them at our college. We try to do this in a very sensitive way. If you suddenly say that, okay, we are going to have a workshop for the reserved category students and come and attend it will create a lot of furore. Not to say that, also to add that students will feel marginalized and instead of mainstreaming them, they will feel further alienated. So this is done in a very, very gentle and a very, very non-stereotyped manner, which is open to anybody and everybody who needs such kind of workshops. It's, so under REACH, what we do is we organize workshops on anything that is going to help the students, be it English conversation skills, computer literacy, simply personality development, personality building. We engage with these kinds of workshops, and we find that it is also these workshops that help our students become more employable, because it is really how you speak, how confident you are, your communication skills, how well you write, all of that is ultimately going to get you a job, and it is students from marginalized sections that do need a job right after graduation. The others go on to do higher education, truly. So that's why we looked at REACH as this change agent. Under REACH, we've come up with this program called Swavlamban. Swavlamban literally means self-help. So we often found that, as I said, contrary to the image of NSR being elitist and students coming from rich sections of the society, we do have students coming from very, very different backgrounds also. So under Swavlamban, we undertook workshops that would make them some kind of, will hold some skill, whether it was candle making or it was chocolate making or it was diya making or any such skill. This skill was taught to students who were interested, and at the time of our Diwali Mela, or we would simply give them space where they could sell this stuff and earn some money for themselves. So this also we found was useful, and students appreciated it and ended up making money for themselves. The other part of this is an Equal Opportunity Center, which we are going to be inaugurating on 2nd of August. This is absolutely new. It's a latest state-of-art technology that uses assistive latest technology like JAWS, JAWS, SAFA. There are talking softwares, there is a Braille embosser, there is a DAISY scanner. We have this latest technology now, essentially for students with disabilities, largely visually challenged students. WAP is another program that we have which offers opportunities for internship to our students with several NGOs. So this is their chance to intern with various NGOs to get some kind of a field exposure, to get their minds into doing something that is really out of the box and out of the ordinary, and to look at possible careers in this field, not to do it in the name of only social service, but to think of alternative careers. Next slide. In extension of WAP is our next best practice, which is community interface in the sense of our corporate social responsibility. Next slide. I think all of you might be having the NSS, the National Service Scheme.
Yes.
We take this very, very seriously, and in our college we have about 750 volunteers who are engaging with various partner NGOs and turning their energies. They are given NSS hours to work with several NGOs. Next slide. The list of partner NGOs range from Arohan, Adharshila, Friendly Home, Koshish, Kutum, and so on. And in addition to this, we have two of the programs, NSS programs that we run on our LSR campus. The first is the Child Development Program, under which we encourage children from the nearby slum areas, Zamrudpur largely, who come to our college at about 4ish or 5ish after college hours. Our student volunteers stay back and they teach the students from the nearby slums. That's called the Child Development Program. It's been running very, very effectively, and the nearby villagers are very, very appreciative of this effort. The other is Sandrishti, which is a program which is held to mend visually challenged peers. And we have a very large number of visually challenged students in our college. At any point of time, we have about 50 to 60 physically disabled students. Of course, that includes all kinds of disabilities, but a very large number of them is visually impaired. So under this Sandrishti program, we students, able-eyed students, read out to students with visual impairment. They also help them to do their projects. They also help them to do other things like going out and so on, and they are given NSS hours for this. The other best practice that we follow is engaging with our non-teaching staff, since they are important stakeholders. When I meet fellow teachers, professors and principals from Delhi University or otherwise, we find that one of the biggest problems that many principals face is to engage with the non-teaching staff. And often in conditions like ours, where there is job permanence and so on, it's difficult to make people work. And this is one of the areas where we also can use some more help, but we try to kind of propel the non-teaching staff also into giving them a sense of identity, into helping them work with us. We do engage with them on a very regular, sustained basis by organizing refresher courses, workshops, enrichment and team building exercises for them. And what is of particular interest to them is this Karamchari Day that we organize once a year. It is really their platform. So on Karamchari Day, we have Karamcharis coming up and doing whatever they want to do. So they put up a play, they could put up, somebody could sing, somebody could dance, a lot of them are into mono acting, they could spoof the principal. So it's a very interesting kind of an opportunity for them where they come forward and showcase their talents, and they look forward to this event in the entire year. Next slide. The other best practice that we follow is in terms of our international programs, into looking at preparing citizens who are ready to take on the world. LSR in some senses has been leaders in developing international linkages. Next slide. And our international programs, I have just divided it into 5 areas where we work on. The first is exchange programs. We have exchange programs with a lot of universities. We host visiting scholars, so Fulbright scholars and so on, we host them on campus. There are several departments who have done that in the past. Elementary education, economics, psychology have done it in the last 1 year. It's a fantastic opportunity. You get to learn from them, they get to learn from you. It's an interesting experience for your students, because in an exchange program, only 1 or 2 can go and attend classes in another university. But when a Fulbright scholar from another university comes and stays with you on campus for 6 months, it's a fantastic opportunity for the entire class, the entire department. We also have short-term modules, I'll come back to this later. We have some collaborative research and video conferencing that we try to take up with our counterparts universities across the world. And we are part of some global networks, which I'll come to. Next slide. We have exchange programs with several universities like National University of Singapore. Our longest running has been La Trobe University in Australia. We've completed 17 years of partnership with La Trobe University. We have exchange tie-ups with Brown, Bernard College, Bryn Mawr, Smith College, Georgetown College, Imade College, Lahore, Trinity College and Middlebury College, and Monterey School of International Studies are 2 latest additions that we have added only this year. We've also faced a lot of constraints in trying to foster exchange programs with them, the biggest constraint being lack of a credit transfer policy. Since we are a part of Delhi University, if our student goes and spends a semester at a university outside, credits are not transferred. So there are certain drawbacks that we also face, like all of you, but we still find that students are interested despite the lack of credits, or we try to send them through the summer vacations and we work out short-term programs for them from our adjoining university. Next slide. These are some of the pictures. Please click on. These are some of our students who've gone to universities abroad. Next slide. These are exchange students who've come to LSR and see how much they like putting henna and doing Indian things like wearing saris and so on. Next slide. LSR is a part of 3 global networks, Universitas 21, which is a consortium of research-intensive universities across the world. Women's Education Worldwide, which is a consortium of women's colleges across the world, and Golden Key and International Honor Society. As a part of this collaboration, they very recently come up with an online journal in collaboration with Smith College called Voices and Visions. This is still something we are working on, but this is a research initiative that came out of a conference like this. There were delegations from Smith College. We sat together, we figured out what we can do together. Email and Skype, of course, is our technologies that assist us today. And an outcome of that collaboration is this online student journal called Voices and Visions. Next slide. We found that just as there were problems of our students going outside and staying for 1 semester, we also found that students from outside may not want to come to India and spend 6